Good afternoon, and welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program.
The Southwest TV Translator Association underwrites the news, and Dolores County Broadcasting Network provides the support for DCTV.
The News at Noon program assembles the best and most interesting news from the area, offers intriguing content for its viewers, and provides local weather for the Four Corners region. Give us a call with news tips or topics you'd like to see covered. The number is 677-4119.
We appreciate you watching. Today's show is live on Wednesday at noon and rebroadcast at 2:30 and 8 p.m. and again re-aired on Saturday at noon, 2:30, and 8. I'm Kendra Cook, and my co-hosts are Kelsey Kiesling and Jerry Tope with the weather. It's August 17th, 2016. Now the news. According to the Durango Herald, closing arguments are expected Wednesday in a jury trial for a Durango man accused of felony assault for seriously injuring a man in a late-night brawl last year in downtown Durango. Hakim Reddy, 38, took the witness stand in his own defense Tuesday, the second day of what is expected to be a 3-day trial in 6th Judicial District Court. Reddy said he acted in self-defense, but prosecutors said he initiated the fight. The incident occurred about 1:30 a.m. June 13, 2015, in the 100 block of West College Drive near the Durango Smoke Shop. Reddy told jurors he drank the equivalent of 12 beers while celebrating his 37th birthday. He started drinking at Oreo's Roadhouse before going to the Wild Horse Saloon, where he met a woman and they danced for several songs. He said he sensed two men leering at him throughout the night, so he approached them and thanked them for letting him dance with their friend. As the bars were closing, he and his brother left the saloon. His brother, Reddy, wanted to talk to a woman, take a walk with the woman to her car, but one of the two men walking with her physically blocked him from doing so. Feeling upset, Reddy headed back towards the bar where he told his brother what happened. Hakim Reddy said he walked towards the men and yelled, "Do you guys want some?" I wanted to confront them and ask them why they were pushing around my brother, he testified. Reddy said he thought they would have a conversation and possibly engage in some chest bumping, but he didn't anticipate a fight. The men turned around and walked toward him, he said. One had a fist raised in the air, so Reddy said he headbutted him and punched him. The second man jumped on his back, so he also punched him. With one man knocked out and the other on the ground, Reddy asked if they wanted any more before walking away and going to Denny's for coffee. He did not notify the police. Deputy District Attorney Justin Fay said Reddy has given contradictory statements, and he questioned whether it is reasonable to think Reddy planned to have a conversation with two men by yelling, "Do you guys want some?" while walking hurriedly toward them at 1:30 a.m. on a dark street. According to an arrest affidavit, both Hakim and Reddy were involved in the fight, but Reddy signed a plea agreement with the District Attorney's office in which he pleaded guilty to complacency to assault, a misdemeanor, in exchange for testifying truthfully against his brother. A woman walking with the two men who were beat up said Hakim and Reddy came out of nowhere and attacked Joshua Sewell and Warren Madden for no reason, according to the affidavit. Sewell didn't suffer serious injuries, but Madden was airlifted to San Juan Regional Medical Center in Farmington with a skull fracture, several broken bones in his face, and a hemorrhage in his brain, according to the arrest affidavit. 7 women and 7 men are serving on the jury. The trial is being overseen by District Judge Suzanne Carlson. Why can't people be more excellent towards each other?
The long wait for Colorado fractivists appears to be over, according to the Durango Herald. 2 ballot initiatives that would greatly limit hydraulic fracturing or fracking for oil and natural gas in the state are likely heading before voters this November. The initiatives would mark the first statewide referendum on fracking anywhere in the U.S. Coloradans Resisting Extreme Energy Development, or CREED, and its related committee, Yes for Health and Safety Over Fracking, have backed the 2 measures. Initiative 75 would allow local governments to regulate oil and gas drilling and even ban fracking. This spring, the state Supreme Court again rejected local voter-approved and city and county governments' bans on fracking since they conflict with state law. Initiative 78 would establish an expansive 2,500-foot setback zone for oil and gas activity from any occupied structures, including houses, schools, hospitals, and playgrounds. The current setback in Colorado, which has some of the country's most stringent energy rules, is 500 feet. Outside of Colorado, California's Monterey County, the state's 4th leading oil-producing county, will vote on its own ban against fracking and wastewater ground injection this November. Neighboring counties have already passed similar bans and do not face the legal constraints against local governments raised in Colorado. Andy Coron, a spokesperson for the Protect Monterey County campaign, says the measure is partly a preemptive move before fracking takes off in the massive Monterey Shale formation, and partly an attempt to rein in acidizing using corrosive chemicals to dissolve rock to open fractures and pores, and toxic wastewater disposal from existing oil and gas development. In Colorado, the Regulatory Oil and Gas Conservation Commission has determined the increased setback would make 90% of the state off-limits to drilling and fracking, virtually halting production. While oil and gas drilling have hit a lull with low prices in the past year, drill rigs and wells continue to pop up along Colorado's Front Range between Denver and Fort Collins, where industry activity has bumped up against neighborhoods and schools, and the strongest fracking opposition has taken root. The energy industry contributed $31.7 billion to the state economy and supported nearly 103,000 Colorado jobs in 2014, according to a University of Colorado Leeds School of Business report, although critics said the report findings reflected undue industry influence.
According to the Durango Herald, former Colorado U.S. Senator Ken Salazar has been tapped to lead Hillary Clinton's transition planning team. The Clinton campaign announced the transition team Tuesday, 2 weeks after paperwork was filed to formally establish the Clinton-Kane Transition Project. Salazar, a former Interior Secretary, will serve as chairman. The leadership team will oversee a Washington-based operation to prepare for a potential Clinton presidency. The Brooklyn-based campaign will stay focused on the election. The Obama administration will host initial meetings with representatives from presidential campaigns. Workspace administered by the General Services Administration will officially be available to both campaigns to use for planning. On the Republican side, Donald Trump in May tapped New Jersey Governor Chris Christie to lead a similar transition effort. The Trump campaign in Colorado called the Salazar announcement yesterday's news. With Clinton Salazar, Colorado will get more of the same failed policies and ethical baggage from career politicians that we can no longer afford, said Patrick Davis, Trump Colorado director. Coloradans don't want a third Obama term and will vote for change in November. Salazar has been an ardent supporter of Clinton and her running mate. He served in the Obama cabinet as Secretary of the Interior. The senior position sets Salazar up for a potential role in a Clinton administration if she wins the November election. President Obama, in 2008, appointed members of his transition team to serve in his administration. Salazar said a Clinton-Kane administration will build on the progress we've made under President Obama and tackle a new set of challenges both at home and abroad. This transition team will undertake the preparations necessary to ensure our next president has the resources and staff to carry out this all-important work.
According to the Durango Herald, Colorado voters in November will decide whether terminally ill people should be allowed to receive prescriptions for drugs to end their own lives. The medical aid in dying measure was certified Monday as having enough petition signatures to make ballots this fall. 5 other states have some law allowing the terminally ill to end their lives. Oregon passed the first right to die law in 1998, followed by Washington, Vermont, and last year California. Montana's state Supreme Court ruled in 2009 that doctors could use a patient's request for life-ending medication as a defense against any criminal charges. Colorado's version would require 2 physicians to agree that a person is terminally ill and has 6 months or less to live, is at least 18, and is mentally competent. Similar measures have twice failed in the Colorado legislature. Lawmakers from both parties said that the law could facilitate suicide in cases where a diagnosis may be wrong. The suicide measure becomes the 3rd citizen petition to make Colorado ballots. Voters will also decide a universal health care measure and a higher minimum wage.
On yesterday's Talk Tuesday, we talked with a local libertarian about the platform and where he sees the issue of importance in a pro-individual right libertarian view. He also brought up the national presidential candidate of the party, which we hadn't yet covered here on the news. So here's an update on Gary Johnson's campaign, according to Politico. Here's a photo of Gary Johnson and his running mate, William Weld. When the Commission on Presidential Debates on Monday finalized its rules for determining which candidates get invited to this fall's headline debates, it suddenly made Libertarian dark horse candidate Gary Johnson's job a whole lot harder. Johnson, a former Republican governor of New Mexico, who has been picking up voters disaffected by Donald Trump, has had his eye on winning a debate slot all summer. Though he has conceded that extraordinary things have to happen for him to win, it's the debates that matter for him. If he can get on stage, his strategists think he has a chance to upset a race that has left a huge number of Americans unhappy with their choices. He already knew the threshold for a debate invitation, a 15% showing in polls, a hurdle no third-party candidate has overcome since the Commission set the bar in 2000. Johnson harbors hope of being the first, but the combination of the polls the Commission just announced it will use to make the cut and the decision of most of the sponsoring media outlets to include both Johnson and Green Party nominee Jill Stein in those polls effectively made the bar tougher for him to clear. With Stein siphoning off some of the anti-establishment vote he's counting on, Johnson is probably going to end up watching the debates at home. The selection rules the Commission's just announced seem reasonable in one sense and not obviously designed to undercut a third-party run. It will use polls released by the 5 major television news networks. Third parties should be further pleased that all of those organizations have been including third-party candidates in their polling. As the former New Mexico governor picks up Republicans alienated by Trump and even picks up some progressives excited about his anti-war, pro-marijuana, and civil liberties stances, his numbers have been climbing into the range where the debate feels like a possibility. When Stein is left out of the polls, Johnson isn't far short of the 15% bar. He hit 12% in the latest Fox News and CBS New York Times polls. The bottom line is, by including all 4 candidates, the Commission's sanctioned polling outfits are reducing the odds that a third-party candidate will make the cut. While both Johnson and Stein rail against the Trump-Clinton duopoly, in reality, Johnson's most immediate opponent is Stein and vice versa. They're each scrambling to claim as much of the small anti-establishment vote as possible. Third parties loathe the Commission's 15% threshold. The Commission is a private entity, unaccountable to the public, and its chosen number is literally arbitrary. Yet it does serve a public purpose. There are only so many debates that more than half of the electorates will sit through. It's legitimate to ask that a candidate prove that he or she truly represents a significant faction of voters before getting such rarefied face time and pulling attention away from the one-on-one contest that is almost certain to decide the presidency. This time around, Johnson and Stein have been given every opportunity to prove themselves. They have been listed in the polls. They have been given exposure on mainstream media networks. Both are even outspending one of the major party candidates in television ads for the first time. But the downside of being included in those polls and getting those town halls is that there are no more excuses. If you don't get to 15%, you don't go on stage.
According to the Cortez Journal, a non-native mussel species that is causing havoc in reservoirs across the nation has not yet infiltrated McPhee Reservoir, and local managers want to keep it that way. If the dreaded Quagga mussel, which has contaminated nearby Lake Powell, migrates here, it would put the region's main water source in jeopardy, said Mike Preston, general manager for the Dolores Water Conservancy District. We want to do everything we can to prevent contamination because it would end up costing millions of dollars to mitigate damage to our reservoir and irrigation infrastructure, Preston said. Rigorous boat inspection programs are the key to prevention. Invasive mussels from infected waterways attach themselves to boat hulls, and their invisible larvae can live in the bilge pumps and boat compartments for 30 days. If an infected boat is not inspected, cleaned, drained, and dried before entering McPhee, the mussel will enter the lake, rapidly reproduce, and attach its hard shell in thick layers to the reservoir's critical infrastructure. It just takes one infected boat to put our irrigation systems, municipal water systems, and power plant structures at severe risk, Preston said. The damage these mussels cause is truly catastrophic. The filter feeder mussel is also a threat to sport and native fish populations because they compete for food and clear up the cloudy water that fish need to help hide them from predators and to catch prey. In recent years, the $80,000 annual budget for the boat inspection program at the McPhee and House Creek boat ramps has been in trouble. Since 2009, the bill was split between the San Juan National Forest, which manages lake recreation, and Colorado Parks and Wildlife. This year, the Forest Service's boat inspection budget was cut drastically in favor of boat inspections on popular Front Range lakes to prevent the spread there. And now here's our weather report.
Yesterday's levels failed to produce National Weather Service expectations in rainfall amounts. The closest geographically available measurements of current cloud moisture available for today are still just under the level that starts to give any measurable rain in our Four Corners area. So, forecasts early in the week for a chance of 1/10 of an inch today have gone AWOL. Nevertheless, clouds will gather as warming reaches its daily peak, and dry lightning and gusty outflowing wind is expected. And depending on the variable moisture level in certain cells, some small hail and brief rain, some of which could be heavy, may still be possible. There is a trough in the Great Basin that has come in from the northwest as expected, but tomorrow and Friday another stronger front moving down from the north into the northern Rockies will cause that Great Basin trough to split. The result is that shower and thunderstorm activity levels from now through Thursday night are expected to stay and be slightly more vigorous rather than dribble away to the east as NOAA had forecast early this week. There are some changes in the long-range forecast for next week as well because of the split and its associated effects. Sometime Monday, a new set of storms will arrive and are now expected to go through the week. Tropical moisture and upper-level energy along the southern plains and in through the Ohio Valley will produce showers and thunderstorms through Thursday evening. Showers now present from the northeast to the mid-Atlantic will move off coast by tonight. The current activity in the upper Mississippi Valley and Great Lakes area will move eastward off the northeast coast by tomorrow evening. A front moving into the Pacific Northwest from western Canada will move eastward to the upper Mississippi Valley and upper Great Lakes and southward to parts of the Central Plains by tomorrow evening and into Friday. Showers and thunderstorms developing along and near the boundary over the northern high plains today will move to the upper Mississippi Valley and Central Plains and parts of the northern Rockies by tomorrow evening. Our 5-day highs continue to be in the lower 80s. Lows will be near 50 degrees. Clouds with lightning, gusty winds at times, with slight possibilities of brief rain and small hail from the stronger cells will continue into Friday. And now back to the news.
According to the Cortez Journal, in 2003, when Denver Water first proposed diverting more water from the Fraser River and its tributaries, officials in Grand County, Colorado, balked. Every year, billions of gallons are piped out of the western slopes rivers bound for the cities and suburbs that sprawl along the dry eastern side of the Rocky Mountains. Grand County contributes the most. 60% of its water is sent eastward, and after years of watching their river shrink, many locals were less than thrilled at the prospect of losing more water. It could have been the start of another lengthy court battle, a routine occurrence in Colorado, where East and West have fought over water for decades. But after Denver Water promised to help the Fraser recover from years of depletion, Grand County reconsidered and agreed to let the utility siphon another 18,700 acre-feet, equal to 15% from the river through the existing Moffett Tunnel. When the deal was signed in March 2014, proponents lauded this new collaborative approach to managing Colorado's dwindling and contentious water supply. It proved, they said, that the state could meet future water needs without destroying ecosystems. On July 1st, the $360 million project celebrated a major milestone in the approval process when it received a key permit from the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment. The final decision rests with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. But meanwhile, threats of an environmental lawsuit are growing, raising questions about the future of other collaborative agreements over water.
From the Durango Herald, a couple from Dubai saw Fuzziwigs candy factory on the Food Channel a few years back, and it sparked their interest. The couple was looking to fill a candy niche, and after meeting with Fuzziwigs franchisor Caio Folsom and visiting the colorful shop and corporate headquarters in Durango, they decided Fuzziwigs would be the best fit. Now the two are bringing the brand to their region with a plan to open 10 stores in 2 years, Folsom said. Dubai is one of the biggest tourist destinations in the world. It's like Las Vegas on steroids, Folsom said. While alcohol is not big there, candy makes a good replacement. The couple run Momer Trading, a Dubai-based company, and opened Subway franchises before considering the candy business. Momer Trading will be a master franchisee for Fuzziwigs. The company will be responsible for recruiting and supporting Fuzziwigs Candy Factory franchisees in its region. Fuzziwigs has grown steadily, franchising 4 to 6 stores a year in recent years. The cost to open a Fuzziwigs franchise runs from just over $182,000 to nearly $350,000, according to the Fuzziwigs website. The company has 52 locations and expects to have 57 by the end of this year. A store in Dubai is expected to open in September, and stores in Columbus and North Carolina are under construction. Rather than focusing on growing fast, the company looks for quality locations. The company doesn't manufacture or distribute products, allowing it to keep its headquarters in Durango and offer franchisees a business system with training and ongoing support. By offering brand name candy, it allows the store to piggyback on the advertising of much larger companies. However, the company offers some private label candy, which is manufactured to Fuzziwigs specifications by another company and branded with Fuzziwigs label. Folsom plans to expand this part of the business.
According to the Cortez Journal, as students geared up for the first day of school in Mancos this week, school board members and staff on Monday debated the best way to address security on the school campus. Board members weighed the options of potentially arming school administrators with concealed carry weapons or hiring a school resource officer. An SRO is typically a member of law enforcement who is responsible for security and crime prevention at a school. Board President Blake Mitchell said board members needed to make sure they kept gathering the best information to make a decision. The decision would be tough, but whatever choice the board made would not be the wrong decision, he said. I lay awake at night thinking about this a lot, Mitchell said. I think about putting our staff in a situation that would change their lives. The board didn't take an official vote on the options, but directed Superintendent Brian Hansen to explore the choices. Board members suggested holding public meetings devoted to the issue to bring parents and community members into the conversation. Hansen said he liked the idea of an SRO. Ideally, the school would have an SRO stationed at each of the buildings on campus, but that's not likely to happen, the superintendent said. Board members discussed looking for grant funds to hire an SRO, but Hansen said if they pursue that option, they should find money in the budget. Most Colorado districts do not have an SRO, Hansen said. All board members should be on board, and any vote on a certain decision should be unanimous, Hansen said. Board member Monty Giles complained that the board and school staff weren't exploring all the potential options to a conclusion. The board had discussed school security at previous meetings, but discussions haven't moved forward, he said. He would not vote in favor of any option until he had better information. Giles said he didn't think weapons in the hands of administrators was a great idea, but he wanted more information. He suggested a potential combination of the options.
This tree image is courtesy from James Jefferson of the Southern Ute Tribal Elder. He is a tribal elder. According to the Durango Herald, in late winter or early spring when food was scarce, it was the tradition of Ute, Navajo, and Apache women to peel the bark of a ponderosa pine to reach the soft, edible inner layer. The bark could be used as a building material. Once peeled, the bark never grew back. Southern Ute elders and guest speakers are planning 2 days of presentations and tours on Friday and Saturday, August 19th and 20th, to explain the historic and cultural significance of such culturally modified trees, called spirit or prayer trees by the Utes. forests. Culturally modified trees were a good food source, held spiritual significance, or were a means of marking a path or telling a story for tribes throughout the world, yet few measures are in place to protect them. Oil and gas drilling or simply vandalism accounts for much of the tree loss. But preservation is difficult because trees are ephemeral, said Andrew Guilford, chairman of the La Plata County Historic Preservation Review Commission. Unlike a petroglyph on stone or rock, it is seen as a different resource. In some cases, Guilford said the trees are inventoried by the U.S. Forest Service or other agencies which can protect the trees from burning or logging. Others are protected within the boundaries of national parks, such as those in the Great Sand Dunes National Park in the San Luis Valley. But modified trees on private property can be lost to development when landowners don't realize their significance or don't care. Jefferson said the Friday and Saturday events will explain the meanings of burial, medicine, trail marker, ceremonial, and message or story trees and how to identify them. Presentations will be 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday at the Sky Ute Casino Resort in Ignacio. A banquet will begin at the casino at 6 p.m. Banquet attendance costs $17 per person. For times and meeting places for Saturday's tours, contact James Jefferson at 749-4922. Both days' events are open to the public.
And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of August 8th through the 14th. A town resident returned home and found a window had been shot out of one of their vehicles. A deputy is investigating. A deputy responded to a request for a vehicle unlock in town. Unlock was successful. A county resident reported a cat stuck on top of an electric pole along Highway 491. Empire Electric was notified. Deputies responded to a report of an individual damaging the road to a new senior center location with a skid steer. A call from a county resident about a possible intruder at a neighbor's house was found to be the neighbor and a roommate. A report of debris on South Highway 491 was cleaned up by a deputy. A report of a non-injury Porsche versus deer altercation on Highway 145 was referred to State Patrol. A Cajon resident reported a black and white miniature, 31 inches tall, male therapy donkey that got loose and is requesting anyone who has information on its whereabouts to contact the sheriff's office. That's it for today's Roundup. Stay tuned next week for more updates.
In today's High Country happenings, Saturday, August 20th, Youth Fest 2016 at the San Juan County Outdoor Pavilion in New Mexico will be from 3 to 9 p.m. It's a free event with concessions available. It's part of the Youth Rocks Ministry. You can check them out on Facebook, or for more details, call 505-278-8577. Here in Dove Creek, Saturday, August 20th is the 3rd annual DC Rat Rod Nationals Car Show and Swap Meet, starting around 9 a.m. It's free to register and attend. Come on out and listen to great music, check out the cars. There will be food vendors, so make it a lunch date. All types of vehicles are welcome and prizes will be awarded. The event page is online on Facebook. And again, the farmers market will be at the Dove Creek VFW from 5 to 7. Set up a vendor booth at 4. And I believe there will also be the monthly group yard sale set up in the parking lot at Deb's Diner on Saturday the 20th as well. Also check out our local area radio station, KSJD Dryland Community Radio, online at ksjd.org. In addition to a range of local programming on air and online, you can check out their event calendar to see more of what's happening for our area. And coming soon, satellite programs originating from Dove Creek. We'll keep you posted on the updates as available. All of the happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the embedded YouTube replays of the live show and the exclusive DCTV 5-day forecast. If you have an event, you can email us at dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station at 677-4119 and we'll be sure to get it on air.
Thanks for tuning in. This program is aired live at noon Monday through Wednesday, then rebroadcast at 2:30 and 8 p.m. and again aired Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the same order at noon, 2:30 and 8 p.m. each day respectively.
Share this with a friend and also catch the broadcast on demand on YouTube and featured on the Facebook page. Please like us there and stay in touch. We'd love to hear your voice.
For Kendra Cook, Jerry Tope, and everyone at DCTV with the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. We'll see you back here again next week.